All right, so back in the basement again for part 2 of this series of this meet prep using EvolveAI to eventually do a USAPL meet. First video talked about setting up the actual program itself, and I said in the next video we talk a little bit about setting up the accessories. So I'm going to take you through each day. Today is day 1, and I'm at the point where I choose accessories. Now, a good note that I like to make here is at this point of the day, I've taken a majority of the time that I'm going to take to train, meaning that if I'm training for an hour and a half, it's probably taken me up to an hour to get to this point. For right now, so far I've done safety bar squats, I've done 3 count pause benches for 7 sets of 8, I've done some bent over rows, I've done some dumbbell flies. Also, because this is the first week, I'm going a little bit lighter than I probably should on some of the accessories. And I always suggest doing that. Don't kind of blow your load on the accessories themselves. Just make sure you're getting the movement in. And as the weeks go on, worry about adding a little bit of weight if needed. So at this point, I'm taking a look at 3 potential accessories to add in. So first, I'm going to select a quad exercise. I'm going to click on that. It's going to give me a lot of recommended stuff. And again, because I gave you the caveat that I've already spent a lot of time training, I'm going to look for things that are easy to set up, easy to do, and things that I could potentially superset in. So a long list of things to do here. And to be honest, what I really like to do, because I have the equipment available, which is another point, if you don't have certain pieces of equipment available, you can always swap out exercises for other stuff or pick your accessories accordingly. I'm going to be doing leg extensions just because I have that William strength leg extension, leg curl combo. What I would suggest if you're running this through for the first time or you're in a new block, always select just for today. And the reason that I suggest that is because next week, instead of giving you an auto-populated leg extensions, it's going to ask you to select again. What I often find is the case for me is I pick something because I think I'm going to like it, or I think I'm going to expedite it, or maybe I think it's just going to really help my training. But in reality, when I do it and I complete that first week, I realize that I'm too fatigued, it took too long to set up, I didn't like it, whatever the reasons may be. And then this way, when I go to the second week, I can either pick that exercise again and keep it for the entire block, or I can change it to something that's more preferable. So for me, I'm going to select leg extensions for that first exercise. I then also have to select a posterior chain exercise. So a very easy thing to do for me in this case would actually be to select laying leg curls or hamstring curls, which is right on here, because basically I would just go from a seated position to a laying position on that same machine and then do leg curls, so I could superset those in very easy. However, that might entail switching the weight in and out. And just because I have the equipment available to me and because I really like the movement, I'm actually going to select glute ham raise. So I'm going to do that again just for today to see how that plays out. Chances are I'm going to have some more posterior chain exercises later in the week. We'll find out in the course of this video where I might add in some lying hamstring curls, but I just really like GHRs, GHDs, whatever you prefer to call them. I believe the name of the exercise is glute ham raise, but the machine is a glute ham developer, which is a fitting argument because we've talked about that on the Massonomics podcast, and I'm so happy to be wearing one of their shirts. So from there, select ab exercise. I gotta be truthfully honest with you, oftentimes I skip ab work just because I feel like I'm short on time, and ab work to me isn't something that I find super important, but one of the things that I really like to do that I'm going to check here is maybe some medicine ball Russian twists, because I have some really nice medicine balls from AbMat, and that's something that again is not going to be overly taxing and will allow me to do it quickly and add it into a superset. So let's try that just for today. And that is going to bring my day 1 to completion in terms of actual exercises. I now got to go ahead and do these, and we'll check in with you on day 2. All right, so we're back in the basement for day 2. Obviously you saw day 1 stuff, same kind of thing, but day 2 for me usually is a little bit less involved when it comes to compounds. I've been training for somewhere around like 30 minutes right now, and I've done a lot of sets, 8 sets of 10 of feet up bench, used some chains. I'll dive into that in a different video. Also did a couple of sets of good mornings, and that brings us to the assistance work. So I have 4 assistance exercises to choose from. Like I talked about yesterday, what I typically look to do here is do stuff that I can set up quickly, move through, superset, and also utilize a lot of the equipment that I have. So first I'm gonna pick a back exercise, and although I really like barbell movements, I think today, to keep it more of a shorter day, I'm probably gonna utilize my prime single stack. So I have a lot of different options right here. And I'm probably going to go with just something like some lat pull downs, but I'll do neutral grip pull downs because I'll also use my Atlas attachment from ClevaBuilt. So again, assistance movements here, you have a wide range of stuff to pick from, and if you have specialty bars or tools that you can't normally work in for your normal powerlifting training, this could be potentially a great option. So I'm gonna work in some neutral grip pull downs. Again, I'm just gonna do just for today for this first week. Then move on to shoulder exercises. And speaking of cool things that I need to show you, I'm going to do some, let's see, lots of options here for shoulders. I don't necessarily know if it has something here what I want. So I am going to pick face pulls, because that's a great movement as is. What I'm actually going to do is use something called the scap strap, but I'm doing like some reverse delt flies, and I'll probably do a dedicated video on this, but it's a great movement and one of the best cable movements I've found for rear delt, especially if you don't have, something to set it up on. So I'm gonna do that. Triceps exercise. This is where I'm also gonna utilize the prime single stack. So the prime piece is coming in huge today. I'm gonna do just a tricep push down here with 2 arms. Typically I'll do some like unilateral work later in the week as well. So you'll probably see that, I'm assuming, but I'm just gonna do just for today, some tricep push downs using like, I guess what you would consider like an easy curl attachment. And then finally a bicep exercise. I am looking right now off to the side, this huge rack of dumbbells. Everyone likes a huge rack, and I really like alternating hammer curls. I just know that from my own preferences. I'm gonna pick that. And again, easy to use because I have a full dumbbell set right there. And it's also conveniently located right next to the prime single stack. So again, just for today. And that's going to be the assistance movements on day 2. All right, so we're back for day 3 of training. I just wrapped up filming some clips for an Iron Rebel knee sleeve video, which you'll probably see before this. My legs are hurting. Go check that video out if you haven't seen it yet. So on today's agenda, we have 3 movements to pick from. Now I started the day doing some pause below the knee deadlifts, comp bench, did some tempo squats, which I have to fill in that last set for. And then again, now I select my accessory movements. So posterior chain exercise. In this case, even though I already did GHRs or GHDs, depending on what you want to call them, I may do that again. There's a lot of other things on here, but again, my problem is this stuff is going to take some time to set up. Like I'd love to do some barbell hip thrusts, but then I got to break out the wagon wheels. I got to break out the bench prop or the hip thruster pad for the rack and set that up and get under it. And it's just annoying. I did good mornings the other day. I don't have a reverse hyper. So there's some options in here, some of which are like body weight, which to be honest, I don't find it very useful for me. I need something with some more resistance and again, easier to do. So in this case, I think I'm actually going to pick hamstring curls because we haven't done that yet and it just gives me a break from the GHR. But again, I'm gonna pick it and just do just for today. And if I don't like the way that this plays out, next week when it comes up, I might just end up doing my glute ham raises twice per week. We'll see. Quad exercise, in this case, a couple of options here. I've already done leg extensions earlier in the week. Again, I want to make this as easy to do as possible. 2 exercises that I really like that are on here. Number 1, goblet squats. Again, get to utilize all those dumbbells that I have on the rack as well as some split squats. So rear foot elevated split squat. You can hit info on any of these. It'll show you what to do. But I have like a leg roller attached to my rack that my wife uses a lot in her training. So we just keep it on there and it's very easy to use that and some dumbbells for some split squats. So my legs are kind of feeling it right now. So I think in this instance, I'm actually going to go ahead and pick some goblet squats. The only downside to picking this, in my opinion, again, just for today, is that I use dumbbells. So my dumbbells only go up to 100. I typically use somewhere between 80 to 100 pounds for this. It says 15 to 20 reps, but that's really easy to do. My legs do not tire out on that kind of work. But again, since it's an assistance movement, I'm not worried about overloading or overly taxing myself. It's just a way to get in some more movement with some weight on there. And if it gets to a point where it's way too easy, then I'll probably just go ahead and switch that exercise. Finally, ab exercise. Again, I actually did these last week or earlier in the week for the sake of the video, but I skipped this 9 times out of 10. I think what I'm going to do is some band pullover dead bugs, easy to do and somewhat of a good exercise. I'm gonna put this in here and we'll see if we actually do it. You'll see video footage and I probably will do it because I'm gonna show you a clip of it, but I probably won't do it the rest of the training cycle. So that's day 3. We'll check in on day 4 tomorrow. All right, so we're back day 4. I just finished my main work, which was comp bench, a bunch of sets there, like 8 sets total. Some bent over rows for reps of 20 and some trap bar deadlifts. So 4 exercises on the docket today. Let's go ahead and just walk through it like we've been doing already. For back exercise, because I've already done a barbell back movement, I'm probably going to do some sort of cable movement. Maybe in this case, I'll do a seated variation. So let's look for that. So seated rows, I'm gonna go ahead and select that and I'll probably end up using the Atlas for that as well. Maybe do some close grip work because I've done like neutral grip wide and I've done just like some normal overhand barbell rows. So I think close grip will probably work there, and I'll probably just write that in the notes to make sure that I remember that for next time. For shoulder exercises, kind of short on time, I'm actually going to pick face pulls again, but again, as I did earlier in the week, I'm probably gonna go ahead and use that scap strap just to see how that works. I don't mind doing exercises twice in 1 week if I have to for assistance, if I feel like they're really beneficial, and I just feel like I'm not doing a lot of rear delt work directly, and I just don't want to overload my front and middle delts because I've been doing a lot of pressing movements as is. So like I've already done 8 sets today, I did like 8 sets yesterday, so that just makes more sense for me. Tricep exercise, I want to do a 1-arm tricep push down. There's a lot of great options here. As I stated already, looking for convenience and also to utilize some of the tools I have. So I'm going to do 1-arm tricep push down, and I'm actually going to use some of my Rogue nunchucks for this, which are really sweet. I think I've shown them on Instagram, but they're basically like little mini knurled Ohio power bars, which I really love the knurling pattern on. And not only do these work your triceps really well, but they're going to help my grip as well because there's no nub at the end to keep my hand there. And then finally, a bicep exercise. I've already done alternating hammer curls. I could do like a barbell type curl, and I will work those in later weeks, but I think for right now, again, for convenience, not having to load a barbell, I'm just going to do some regular alternating curls, or actually maybe I'll just do, as I take a look here, hammer curls, Atman curls, barbell curls. I think I'm just going to do dumbbell curls, so non-alternating in this case. So slightly mix it up because I did those hammer curls earlier in the week. So just dumbbell alternating curls, if I can speak right, just for today. And that's going to finish out this week. So that's going to finish out this video, a little bit longer, but showing you how I pick my assistance exercises. If you want to, leave me a comment in the comment section below because I'll probably put this video up today, which is Friday. And by the time I start filming stuff on Monday next week, if you leave me some ideas of what you want to see in next week's video update, that might give me some better ideas to implement, or at least in future videos as well. Hopefully you found this video interesting. If you have questions on how anything works with this app, let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.